reaching out, seeing what we can do, how we can do it, and how quick we can do it. You know, for about the third time, at least since we've been on the council, and you know, our spill back in August, which some of that not in our control, some of it probably could have been prevented. But however, you know, the plan is in works. We're going to do all that we can, use every resource we can. We've been in contact with Congressman Adderholt's office, Senator Gudger, and you know, Representative Estes. You know, we will try everything we can to not repeat this in every way that we can. Sometimes things happen. Nature is brutal sometimes, but other things can be prevented, and we will be working towards the best outcome, which is for services to never run out for you guys. It's our job as city government to have the best quality lives for our citizens. And that's what we're going to try to do looking forward. And outside of that, I just ask that you be patient with us, because it does take time to regain everything that we've lost. We have 8 or 9 tanks in our system. It takes time for water to get pushed up to all those tanks. And you know, and that right there is another thing that we're working on, is the various upgrades to these grants we've applied for 3 or 4 times. And now we can say, if we could just get a little bit of help, we could keep providing out further into the county. But again, I just want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank our departments again for all the hard work that they've done during the ice storm, and now, you know, getting out of the ice storm and working into our response to all the things that have happened.
Rodney, you're our super for the water department. You want to have a word tonight?
I would like to thank every department in the city for helping. We had the street department out helping with us. We have the fire department and the police department helping with water distribution. It's all a city. Every department works together, and that's great. As far as filling tanks, I would like to say this: we don't pick and choose what tanks we fill first. Our system is spread out to where when we started pumping water to the system today, we're pumping water to the medium tank. We're pumping water on the east side to the industrial tank, and we're pumping water on the west side to the Mitchell Hill tank. Those 3 tanks are our first 3 tanks that start getting water. And when we get so much water in, just say the Mitchell Hill tank, we get so much water in that, we'll start pumping water out to the next tank, which is the western tank. Once we get so much water in that, we're going to pump water to the Baggett tank. So it's just a process of, we don't pick and choose what tank we're going to pump to. It's all a inline service that we pump to. We don't try to pick and choose who we're going to pump to. Nothing like that. So I just wanted to clear that up as well. Any questions?
We might come back for some later comments. If you'll stick with us, we're gonna move on through our meeting. We may have some questions from our audience before we close out tonight, and we may come back to another discussion on this water matter during a little while. With all that said here tonight, we are here for a council meeting. We've got an agenda. But before we start every meeting, we have an invocation and our pledge of allegiance, and then we go into the meeting. So at this time, we'd like you to stand with us, please. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you that we have life today. We thank you for every day of life, and life brings us changes many times. And Father, we know that you're still with us, that you protect us from many things. And Lord, we ask tonight that you be with us in this meeting, that we might do the things that's pleasing in your sight. Father, we ask that you be with the leaders of our nation, as many things seems to be going on in our own nation tonight. much crime and things that are unthought of almost are happening, but we still know that you're in control tonight, and we praise you for that. We, Lord, ask that you be with those that might be needy tonight and have special needs in their lives, whether it be physical or mental or emotional, whatever it be. Give them a touch from your hand. In Christ's name I pray. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Item 1 on our agenda tonight would be to approve our minutes from the January 4th City Council meeting. To do that, we need a motion.
Motion.
We've got a motion from Ross. We need a second.
Second.
Second from Scott Robertson. All those in favor of approving those minutes, thank you very much. Item 2 is a recommendation to renew our social media development and maintenance contract with Gary Wayne Mays for a yearly proposed amount of $3,000. This will be broken down into monthly increment payments of $250.
I'll make that motion.
We got a motion from Scott, motion second by Sherry. All those in favor of renewing that contract with Wayne. Wayne does a nice job for us. Item 3 would be a recommendation to approve the purchase of a 3033R John Deere compact utility tractor for our source well. For the source well, purchase price will be $42,333.32. This tractor will be purchased and used by the wastewater treatment plant. This was, I believe, brought to our attention in our last work session. We need a motion on that.
I make a motion.
Scott made the motion. We need a second.
Second.
We appreciate the second by Ross. Those in favor? Thank you. I believe that our old 87 model finally blew up.
Yes.
Our tractor's gone from there. Item 4, we thought we were ready to bring to the table tonight, but it's been brought to our, that we need to maybe get a little more information on this matter, so I'd like to recommend that we table item 4 on our agenda tonight.
Motion. Second.
A motion second. We'll bring that back to a later meeting if we call vote to do that.
Who made the second? I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Item 5 is a recommendation to approve the renewal of the City of Hamilton's blanket insurance for all of our equipment, buildings, and vehicles. The premium amount for this year is $230,672, and that would be through the Alabama Municipal Insurance Corporation, which will be handled through Oak Ridge Insurance Company of Hamilton.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Got a motion from Wade, second from Scott. All those in favor of approving our blanket insurance. Item 6 is a recommendation to approve a cybersecurity policy through Oak Ridge Insurance Company for the premium amount of $13,875.40. This is a new policy. Cybersecurity has become so prevalent and so many cities being attacked that we have to have this type of insurance now. So we need a motion to approve that also.
Motion.
Got a motion from Ross. We need a second. Sherry, second. All those in favor of purchasing the cybersecurity policy? Thank you.
Just want to add, those two expenses is a lot of money, but it's just once a year.
Yeah.
And it's just, you have to have insurance, and just pay it once a year. So if anybody's wondering why I'm spending $200,000, that's the reason. That it's a one-time year expense that we do every year, and every city does that has insurance.
They have allowed us to have 3 payments on this week. I'll spread that a bit. Item 7 is a recommendation to pass resolution 2024-001 2021-1-22 that could impose weight limitations and access restrictions to trucks and commercial vehicle usage on certain city streets that have been or could be seriously damaged by their continued commercial vehicle usage. The restricted streets will be identified by signage indicating the restriction, and the names of the streets will be posted. We've got some huge tractor trailer loads that are running our city streets, and lots of damage has been reported. Some of our culverts and bridges have weight restrictions of much less weight than these loads entail, so we'd like to pass a resolution to restrict some areas that don't need to be traveled with heavy loads.
Motion.
Got a motion by Ross to pass this resolution. We need a second. Second by Ms. Sherry. All those in favor of that, thank you very much. And we'll post the streets that are affected by this. We've got some guests with us, and we've opened comments if anybody'd like to say anything tonight to us about anything. Okay.
I wasn't planning on saying anything, but since you offered the invitation, I do want to thank the water department and all the employees, and I think I echo everyone in the city. Been following Facebook today, and I've been very encouraged by how understanding and supportive people are of the city employees, and that's very encouraging. Although I do think the citizens would like to see communication of a plan to get us toward a more resilient water and sewer system. And if we don't know what that is internally, maybe a third-party audit or something like that. But I do think to communicate that, maybe you know that and you're working on grants and you haven't communicated all those ideas yet, I understand. But I think a lot of citizens would like to know what the plans are, even if they don't come through, just because that lets them know it's a priority. I've lived in the Northeast for 10 years, and this never happened. We live in the South. I've lived all over the Southeast in various places, and it's very rare for a lot of water outages to happen. I understand we get caught off guard no matter what preparations we make, but I do think the citizens want to know that it's a priority to have a more resilient water and sewer.
All right, our C grant that we've applied for will repair the lightning damage to the pumping facilities between Hamilton and Ewan that connects the two cities together by water pipe, and also give us a connection over on 42 to the rural water at the end of their pipe that will give us some backup on the east side. We're currently working on a grant to do the pumps at Mitchell Hill. Those were put in 1964. They're pumping 24/7 right now, but they need to be upgraded to larger pumps so we move more water quickly. And we're planning to improve that entire west side. The priority is the one that was put in 64. It needs new wiring and new heavier pumps. But we've got a grant application in for that also. So we're not sitting around on our hands every day, not thinking of our growth and our future. We need grants. We hate to put all of our tax dollars back into water and sewer. Those are the two most costly things that you can do in the way of repairs and maintenance. But these grants are made available to municipalities for these purposes, and that's why we try to go the grant route instead of just spending the tax dollars. We're trying to do a lot of services for the city. We have a paid fire department now. Our first responders are top notch. We've increased our law enforcement numbers, and we really feel good about our police force right now. And so it costs, as you see, a lot of money to run a city. Our budget's about $12 million a year. That it would include the city budget, for operating this small city. It's grown in the last 6 years. It's nearly doubled, our budget has, and so it just takes a lot of money to run the city. We're hoping to be good stewards of our money. We trying to do some really nice things right now for our city that's never been done before. But I can understand concerns about this. We hate to make all these announcements before we know if we can come up with the money, but these are the projects we're working on, just to let you be informed. It's not that we don't want to be transparent with our community. I haven't made a lot of statements during this ice storm. You haven't heard a lot from the mayor. I wanted those Facebook posts to be coming from somebody that knew what was going on. They had their boots on the ground every day and part of the nights. I wanted those statements to be coming from our water department, not from the mayor, because the mayor's on the sidelines cheering for his workers and urging them on. But they know what's happening. That's why the reports came from them instead of me. And you know, I don't mind making a statement anytime, but I'd rather it come from the person that really knows what's going on. So, I mean, we do want to be transparent. If you call any one of us on the phone, we'll talk square with you. We won't hide anything in the bushes. But, you know, Hamilton is a great city. It's not a backward city at all. We've got some of the most energetic council people you'll ever see. I'm the old man on the block, but, you know, I can still, I know what's going on around me. And we want Hamilton to be more recognized. That's what we are. We're a good city. We're not a bad city. We don't have a bunch of trash to work with. We didn't buy in track hose, backhoes, new fleet of vehicles for our police. And we're trying to be very progressive. And our stuff's not worn out and beat up. Our water purification plant is well maintained. We've got a few areas we need to work on that we just talked about, but by and large, we've got a good system here in the city. Right now, we've been a victim of something that don't happen around here very often, but if you listen to the news, most of the communities like us are having very similar problems. I'll guarantee you, I can name 5 communities real close to us that let their problems be known during this ice storm. Walker County, Fayette County, Sullivan, Haleyville had troubles last night at the Diamond community. They had to shut down for a while in their operation. So it's just the way our system is set up, as Rodney says, those tanks are in a sequence, and to fill them back up when you go completely dry like we did takes some time, because we've got to build new pressure in our lines, fill certain tanks up before we can finger out to the rest of the tanks, and it just takes time to do it. And we want this to happen instantly. We'd snap our fingers if we could and say, fix it. But it takes a little while to fix a problem when it gets to this magnitude, and it's just the way it is. Sir, did you want to address us?
Yes. My name is Rich Justin. I live at 210 Raven Lane, just up the road here. I have a couple of questions. I heard you correctly there. You said that you were recently purchasing replacing a 1987 tractor with a new one, correct? Am I right?
Come on up. I don't hear very well, so just come on up.
You're purchasing a brand new John Deere tractor, correct?
Yes.
Did I hear that?
Yes.
All right, now that's replacing a 1987 tractor, correct? Okay, well, I also heard that you have a 1964 pump out there that's not up to the job. So why has it taken until now to replace it? Why hasn't that been replaced somewhere along the line?
Those pumps work, they're working right now.
But if they're not up to the job,
Yeah, well, we're increasing our flow because the rural water system went to 250 gallon a minute pumps. They can pump it away from us faster than we can move it to them.
all right, however, the
Yeah.
thing is, that the pumps are old,
Yeah,
right? Nothing lasts forever.
yes,
You have to replace them.
yes.
What plan was put in place to eventually replace those, other than asking, going on your knees to Montgomery and getting a grant? Why is it necessary to get a grant to replace something you know is going to need replacement?
Mayor, if I may, it's not that I want to throw off, but you know, we're all new. We took over in 2020. So as far as pre-2020, we can't answer the question as to why it
I
hasn't been
think you
replaced.
can.
Maybe so, but we were not sitting on the board. And so we can't answer for why money was spent one way in '64 or leading up to that. Now, to answer your question directly, because we operate so many different departments inside the city, it alleviates pressure off of our budget if we do go and apply for grants, and we do get money from the state. It
Okay,
just
but
helps.
you're not answering my question.
Okay.
My question was very simple. The pumps are from 1964, and obviously all of these other systems are quite old. Why wasn't there some system, some type of fund built up to replace these things as they reached a certain lifespan, say 50 years maybe? 60 years, something? In other words, just instead of just wait till they break down and then begging for grant money to replace something that you knew all along needed replacement is not a good plan. I don't understand that.
They're not broke down, sir.
One thing, they're not broke down.
But they're not up to the job, am I correct?
They're doing the job. Yes, sir.
They're
They are
doing
doing
the
the
job.
job. But
Yes.
apparently, well, then why are you replacing them?
We want to go bigger.
Why?
So
What do you
we
want
can
to
Provide more water.
Okay, well then,
We're growing.
you think something that's 60 years old
We
needs to
look-
be looked at
We
and
look for the
replaced?
future.
Okay,
We want to
I'm
grow.
not criticizing you,
Yes.
okay? I'm trying to understand the thinking here. Why isn't there a fund that is set in place, somebody that is saying, okay, we have to replace these things at a certain time, let's do that? Something, well, it just doesn't work just to keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. And then something like this happens and boom, there's a problem and the whole system shuts down. But if there was, the equipment was good, then you could identify the problem, fix the system, it'd be back up in a few hours or a couple of days maybe, not a week. So I think there is something amiss in the planning, not the people trying to do the job, and not you folks up there, because you, like you said, you didn't do it. You're all new to the job here, so to speak. Within the last 10 years, right? Everybody.
Yeah, I'm a second term mayor, so I'm the one that probably needed to address this. These are all newly elected.
Well,
Everyone-
Mr. Williams was the mayor before you.
Yeah, he was there before me.
Yeah, so he's also familiar with this, what I'm talking about. So all I'm asking, is a concerned citizen, is what is the plan in detail? Spell it out, ask, tell people, let's get this grant, what it's for, why it's being replaced, how much money's involved, and what we can do in the future to prevent things like this.
We've
Instead
got,
of just waiting for it to happen.
yeah, we've got 284 intercity miles of streets.
Yeah,
Down the side of each one of those streets runs a water line.
okay, I get that.
And it costs about, probably, $60, for a yard of pipe now.
Yeah.
And so if you budget for certain areas and certain things, you have to do it in stages. So, I mean, these pumps have been working, that's why they haven't been replaced, but we see a need to replace them, so
Yeah,
that's what
I
we're
do.
doing.
Now, I come from the state of Wisconsin, where it gets really cold.
Yeah,
And water main breaks are just a normal occurrence. They happen all the time. And if you can drive down the street in December or January and see them working in the street, a big hole in the ground, and they're working 24, 48 hours to get that thing fixed. So I understand that it's a common problem, just like you described, the ground shears the pipe, okay? They plan for this. They have crews that have done this a bunch of times. There's a plan, okay? Now, also, most of those pipes in the ground are pretty old, right? Okay? Have they ever been
Oh, yes.
replaced? Yeah, they're very old. Same with the sewer pipes, and they break. So that's understood. People gotta know that's gonna happen, okay? And with climate change, if it's real, we're gonna see some extremes, hot, cold. We got a plan. We got a plan, okay? Just let's hope that we get a grant is not a plan.
Yeah. We
Thank
will
you.
get, we will get those grants.
Thank you for listening.
We will
Thank
do
you
a
for
job.
listening.
Thank you. And where do you live, sir?
Right up the street here, 210 Raven Lane.
Okay. Well, we're proud you moved here.
Come on over, I'll give you a glass of water.
And we want you to love Hamilton like we love it. We grew up here, most of us, or have relatives in the area. We hope you love Hamilton, not feel like you moved to a bad community.
I don't. If I felt like a bad community, I would be moving out.
Yeah,
Instead, I'm investing time.
yeah.
I want to see it get better, just like
We appreciate suggestions, and strategic plan is something that we've actually thought more about, and we're beginning to move in that direction.
Okay.
We used to just fix the can when it had to be fixed. Now, otherwise we'd kick it down the road, but we're trying to now make better plans for our future, and we see our growth as the reason for these plans that we need to put in place, and we don't disagree with what you're saying at all.
I understand, I appreciate you here.
Yeah, I'm glad you came tonight to talk to us, and we don't mind visitors coming, we don't mind anybody coming. These are open meetings, and if somebody's gonna address us, for a certain thing, we like to just get them on the agenda, and then we give you a free rein on, in that
Yeah.
meeting. But we wanted to hear from you tonight, because we knew you didn't usually come to the meetings, you had something on your mind.
It's better that I came than my wife.
Okay, okay. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Bob, did you have something you want to say?
Well, no, not really, sir. I know about everybody here on the council. I've known them for many years. And as this gentleman over here stated, that it's an issue that's not just present, not present day, not during your term, not during Mr. Williams' term, but during other mayors and officials and city council's terms. Should have been addressed 20 years ago instead of 7 days ago. We understand y'all will have a plan in place. We understand that y'all will make provisions for the citizens of Hamilton and the surrounding areas. But it comes down to the fact that if you buy a car, you drive it for 10 years, it starts having troubles, you're going to replace that car. You don't worry and think, well, it's going to last forever. So you go ahead and make provisions, have money put back for these issues instead of spending them in other areas that may be important at the time, but you never know when things of this issue is going to happen. So you replace that car before it gives you too many issues, and that's what should have been done here. These lines, these pumps, everything should have been replaced before your term, before Mr. Williams' terms, and before the city council's terms. Unfortunately, now it's laid in y'all's lap, and y'all have got to deal with it. And I guess as y'all haven't heard, there's probably about 10,000 people that's highly upset with the city of Hamilton. And something that, no, y'all cannot help, but y'all have got to get a quick solution in place to fix the problem, or it's just going to get worse.
Yeah. We definitely identified some weakness, and we're not perfect folks, but what we can kind of see the train coming. We don't want to stand in front of it while it runs over us, so we're addressing some of these issues already, and we'll get it solved. And we won't all solve it, every problem that comes along, because we don't see them coming till they just happen. But we can plan for certain things, as the gentleman says and you say. How about it, neighbor?
Well, I can say I ain't been without one. I told somebody today, which it was just a joke, but I told him, I said, if you live over by the mayor, you ain't gonna run out of water.
Good point, good point.
But anyway, no, I told Ross today, you know, I know, I've worked in the water department at Hackleburg for about 9 or 10 years and run Hackleburg Water Department for that long. And I know how hard it is on these guys to identify a leak during storms or cold weather or whatever. And I told him, I said, I would come out and help look for a leak. Because I know how difficult it is.
That's another thing that we wanted to address here tonight. We want those folks listening on this broadcast, and then the paper, if the paper will print this for us, we want folks to look at their own households for leaks and to report them to us, because a household leak wastes a lot of water too. And if you drive by an abandoned house and you see water running out, call us. We want to come fix that. We're looking for leaks, but sometimes the public can help us by just reporting these broken lines, and it gets us on them a lot quicker. We waste less water. We've poured out millions of gallons of clean water with these broken lines in the last few days, and it's just one of those things.
I think, and you know, just the people, I talked to Ross today, and I told him, I said, you know, a lot of people that is just concerned citizens, they ain't really, nobody, I don't think nobody's really blaming nobody. They just want some answers. That's the thing. You know, they just want to feel like that the problem's trying to be solved. And I mean, like I said, I ain't run out, and I'm thankful for that. And at any time, I don't care day or night, anytime I can be any help, I'm willing to help them go look, because you know, a lot of these lines runs down through the woods.
Yeah, they do.
And you gotta find where the leak's at, and you know, there's nothing saying that they found all the leaks yet. Because when you get the pressure up on it, you may find out you got more problems.
About 2 summers ago, Rodney called me and he said, "We're over here in the woods. We're gonna have to call in a digger. This line's 13 feet deep in the ground, and lightning has struck it. It ripped it 20 feet or more."
Yeah.
He said, "I've never seen anything like it. It's right out in the middle of the woods. We lost a lot of water to that leak, but we got it fixed." Miss Lovett, if you'll come to the podium and address us with your problem, we'd like to hear from you tonight.
I will. I'd love to speak, and I appreciate you listening to me.
Yeah.
One of my questions is, Friday morning maybe, we were put on a conserve water. Start conserving water. It might have been Friday evening. My days run together. My water's cut off at the main to conserve water at my business, while my food's sitting in a room. But we have a county tournament at the high school. Hundreds of children. What's the first thing children want to do? I need to go potty. Those bathrooms were flushed consecutively. I think we need to have a better plan when we say conserve water. We mean it. Not conserve just for you. Don't just look out for yourself. It's countywide. Now I'm looking at, I called the state health department today to find out what I can do in order to open restaurants. I really wish the city of Hamilton would work with the health department, put out a public service announcement so I know how to serve people and do it clean. I'm a little bit of a clean freak, yes. I want everything right and I don't want anyone sick. But I've been shut down and everyone around me is opening up, serving food without washing your hands, without having public restrooms, without having a plan in place not to make people sick. There's not a state of emergency in Hamilton, Alabama. This is a state of emergency. My insurance will not cover me. You talk about buying insurance for the county. You have to have it. And I've talked to several other business owners. And unless you're under a state of emergency, your insurance will give you down the road about a claim, which is gonna end up costing me more. But I hate to see all that good food go to waste. When I could claim it with my insurance, I could cut that meat and hand it out to the community for these people that are not working. And they're not having to go buy groceries that can pay their power bill this month. But I'm up in the air with no idea of what to do.
Well, we feel your pain, and we've trying to fix your problem out there, but you're probably in an area you're in the higher terrain, it's gonna take longer to probably get your water back on. I don't know, it may be a couple of days before you see any water in those pipes.
And I understand that,
Yeah.
I do. Can Hamilton do something? I don't know what the government, the politics are on that. To declare a state of emergency for Hamilton. I understand KIV's not gonna do it. It's not a statewide problem. It's our community problem.
Chairman, do you remember the discussion this morning about declaring emergencies and state of emergencies that we talked about?
I think we had just discussed that one of the, main benefits as far as the city is concerned was, if we had to have emergency expenditures that need to be approved. We did foresee that we were going to have that at this point. But this issue has been raised about whether or not, and I don't know the specifics of her insurance policy or whatever, but if there would be some benefit, at least to other people to having that in place. I don't know that there's that much of a downside to the city if we wanted to do that, but that would be up to
Could
the
we
council.
Could we do something that would assist her to be able to file her claim? Do you think we should, in this meeting tonight, declare that we have a state of emergency in the city of Hamilton, which the water is kind of a crisis?
We have elderly that are in the hospital that don't have water. It is a state of emergency. And that's not putting blame on anybody, but it is a state of emergency.
I know when the dam broke on the pond and muddied up the creek or the river.
That was convenient.
I know the state, me working with the prison, they was planning on moving prisoners out of here. And, I know the state well enough that if they move somebody out of here to another prison, they're already wanting to shut that prison down anyway. So, and I don't know what can be done but when you got 300 inmates down there, if they move them out, they're probably not going to bring them back. And you're talking about a lot of revenue from occupational tax to a lot of other stuff that comes from that.
It's
We,
not,
we think the prison's got water now.
Okay. Well, I knew the last time that they had already made preparation to start moving them out. And then the water come back, I think.
What I saw come through the lines when we came back online wasn't very beautiful, but it was running water.
Yeah.
You can flush.
Well, if you could flush a commode over there.
If it would be in keeping with our rules of order, I would, in public, make that declaration to here tonight. Can we do that here tonight?
You can, but I think you need
Council, what say you?
I think one, I think you need the council.
That's what we need to do, I don't mind it all. Until this process is over.
yeah.
It's not just me.
I know.
I'm not looking out for number one. I'm not that person.
Well,
But there's several businesses, like I said, that I've talked to. If I take,
we're here to help. We're
I,
not-
and, yes, and that, I know that, and that's why I come to y'all personally.
Yeah,
If I take a $30,000 loss and throw garbage, throw meat in my dumpster, I'm gone. It'll be another empty building in Hamilton, Alabama.
we don't need.
It'll be 25 jobs in Hamilton, Alabama gone.
We understand where you're coming from.
It's just, I love what I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose what I do and go somewhere else. And that's not a threat. I don't know if I could, if I could afford to. I don't want to. This is my home now. This is my family now.
Understand. We appreciate what you do for Hamilton, and we see you
Y'all
put
do
your
the
heart
same
into
for
it
me.
every day.
Y'all do the same for me.
Yeah.
Mr.
This
Mandel.
time, I would like to declare our city in a state of emergency as water, the crisis being water at this time. And I'd like to ask the council to vote with me to declare this, so we'd like to hear a motion and a second and a vote to declare us in a state of emergency.
I'll make a motion.
We got a motion, and we need a second. Chevy, all those in favor of declaring this state of emergency in Hamilton? Thank you. It is officially on record that we've declared Hamilton in a state of emergency here tonight at this meeting. And I hope that assists in your recovery and others that may be in the same boat with you. Again, we're sorry that this condition has developed. We do not think that we have a bad system, a water system in Hamilton. We can improve it. We know that. We're talking about these improvements already tonight, and they're on the drawing board, and we're looking to fund them soon and get them done, implemented. But we are in somewhat of a state of emergency. We were planning to buy and furnish bottled water and some bulk water as we can be able to bring it to town for the people and restore the water lines as soon as possible. That was the plan this morning. And then we're working with backup for our system with other cities and county water rural system. Those things are happening. They're going to happen soon. And but I just hope that we don't have any businesses go out of business because of this Arctic blast that we got that put us in the shape.
And Mayor, if I may add to the state of emergency, just if we could declare to the end of the bull notice. That leaves us, as soon as the bull notice is lifted, then we come out of state of emergency.
Is that in the minutes, Angela, like you said, that till the end of the boil notice
Yes, I can put it in.
in that motion? And for those watching, we actually talked about this morning, the state of
What
emergency.
exactly does a state of emergency mean?
State of emergency is that we're having to do unusual and expensive things that provide normal services. This is an emergency, so we're trying to take care of this immediate emergency as our water applies. This has to do more with people being out of business right now. Merchants like cafes and restaurants have a hard time operating when we're under a boil order unless they have special equipment in their facilities. So this state of emergency is as it applies to our water conditions right now. And we may spend a good deal of money, taxpayer money, and it allows us to spend money for these things without having to go through all the bid processes and things like this that we normally would have to do to cover these costs.
Does it mean that the schools are shut down? Does it mean that the The businesses are shut down, what does it mean? It's rather nebulous what you said.
This has to do with our water crisis.
I understand that, but
Yes.
what does it mean? Does
Yeah.
it put restrictions on me, on her?
Can I have
No,
that?
it means if they need something to fix their problem, that this is a state emergency,
Okay.
they don't have to go through it, they don't have to bid it out to draw something out. They can go ahead and order whatever they need and get it on hand and get it fixed without having to go through somebody else.
Should that have been done 4 days ago?
Well, I mean.
Well, it's just not 4 days ago though.
Pardon?
It's just not 4 days ago. This has happened before.
Well, if it, 4 days ago, when it should not?
Until
declared
last night, we thought we were heading in the right direction. Then we'd have another day lost at our water plant because of some technical issues that we never had happen before. We thought we were improving, and actually we're gaining water volume in our tanks. By the time we got our operation going again at the purification plant, that water was gone. And
Well, I understand there's issues and problems with keeping things going the way they need to be as far as it presents problems for you in the city and as far as for its community. But some of us are going on day 6 without water in our homes. The state of emergency may help the businesses, but what is this going to be if you say it's another 2, possibly 3 days before I receive water? How's that help me?
well, we've brought water into town to help you. Water that we're gonna give you at the distribution
I
center.
understand that, but are you going to give me enough to, you know, I've got four people in my household. Am I going to go and get a case of water? Am I going to get 40 cases of water?
We haven't decided that.
Yeah,
I guess we just give so much a day. I'm not at the distribution, we just.
I know, I'm just saying, you say the water to help us,
See,
if we can't get enough for your basic needs, to
Yeah.
consider yourself a person, if, you know, you want me to show up at your house 15 days without a shower if I was to come over and knock on your door? You wouldn't want that. I don't want nobody to come to my house that way either. I'm just saying, we understand there's a problem with the water system, and we know that y'all are working on it. It's like the gentleman here said, we would just like to have some answers, how soon. You know, you can say a couple of days, but it may be a week, maybe longer. We would just love to know when we're going to have water back where we can say, okay, this is how we're going to survive for the next 4 or 5 days, because it's already been day 5 and tomorrow starts day 6 at my house.
But adding to that, with the school going back to tomorrow, how is that conserving water? We're already at the end of the line out on 25. We've not had water in days. Can't flush our toilets, can't shower. We got kids that are going to school dirty tomorrow. And there's hundreds of kids in that school, so I don't understand how that's conserving water.
We really don't have any control over the school system. That would be from the superintendent.
But isn't it a health issue if you've got 700 children without water?
I hear what you're saying, and I do understand. But again, and I understand, there's a lot of kids, and when you ask them to conserve, they all want to go to the bathroom. So I guess that would be something that, if need be, the mayor could discuss with the superintendent.
Well, the
I
children's been
understand
out
what
long
you're
enough, they
saying.
need to be back in school, but I don't know how they're going to
They may
function.
agree.
I don't know
Without
how
water.
we're ever going to get water back like that, because our water was turned off Thursday, from my understanding, out on 25. So we had
Rodney,
none.
can you address any of the matters of the school?
Well, first of all, nobody's water has been turned off. The tanks were drained, and everybody has been out of water. And as I explained earlier, you know, the process of filling tanks back up, we don't pick and choose who we're gonna fill up first, or second, or third.
Location, elevation, things like that, with wherever that water flows first is who gets the service first, is that correct?
Yes.
And our goal is to get everybody served. We value every water customer we got. And we were trying to get everybody served, but the system has to all come back up before everybody's served. probably get water before some of the other areas in higher terrains. It's just the nature of the lay of the land around Hamilton. And pumps don't force all the water to these places. Gravity brings some of it to some of these places.
So would you say at the end of the week, pretty much everybody should have water back?
I would think so.
Barring no
What do you-
problems.
What do you think? If we don't have further problems, would get service back maybe toward to everybody?
I would think so.
But like I said a while ago, when you get them lines filled back up, you may find that you've got other leaks.
More than we.
I mean,
That's
I-
awesome. A week, great.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you asked if everybody would check, where their water meter is at for leaks. I would venture to guess that there's quite a few people in town who have no clue where their water meter is at.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, so maybe it'd be a good idea if the water meter would put a little flag in it and kind of tell everybody where it is.
Some of them do.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Most of them do what?
Blue flags.
I've never seen a blue flag in mine. And anyway,
We have.
The
but,
Holiday Inn is open for people to take showers.
and where is that located,
In
ma'am?
UN,
In where?
UN.
In Gewen.
So somebody.
So that's us. I mean, Rodney is over the water. We're out of water at our own home. We're on day 5, day 6 also. So it's not like he sat at home and done anything and not had his people out there. There's places to take showers. There's there's a lot of things that you all shouldn't even be apologizing to the public for, because you didn't ask for the water lines to break. Rodney didn't ask for the water lines to break. It's an act of nature. It's called life. Things happen unexpectedly that you have to be prepared for. You have insurance to be prepared for. We need to help her out. We need to help the other merchants out that need help. We just have to do the best we can with what we've dealt. That's the best way we can do it.
You said it correctly, be prepared for it.
Be prepared for it.
They should have been prepared for the system 20 years ago.
But the council, the
This
water
council's not
department,
responsible,
but
I'm
the
saying.
water department used to be a totally different thing that the city didn't even do. But the city
I know.
acquired that. So it's been a lot of things over the years.
I know, but you said the word prepared, which is very
Prepared.
correct.
But
Not
as
this city
individual
council.
households have to be prepared too.
Not this
I agree
mayor.
with you on that.
Can't predict the future.
It needs some water.
We appreciate everybody
But I
that
think
came
people
out
get used to
tonight,
the
and
city.
we don't have anything further on our agenda tonight.
Just they pay for
We
it.
are
so
gonna
they
try
used
to get people's services
And it comes,
restored
but
as
these guys
quickly
do a
as
good job. I
possible.
get that.
Little hours that
And
they
I
work,
hope
they're
that
not-
we can
Whoever.
help you as
That's
well
a good
with.
example for
with-
No,
How often
I
is your
appreciate
problem?
y'all listening to me.
Yeah.
Ours goes off regular basis.
And the rest of our guests tonight, we're gonna restore you as soon as possible.
We've had storms.
With all that said,
I have a job.
no further
You
business
can go in there
tonight.
and
Not too
We
good.
ask for a motion to adjourn.
Well, now, before we do that,
Hey,
I'd like to ask that we move into an executive session pursuant to Code of Alabama, Section 3625A,
Because I work, I have a job.
A3,
Oh, I know.
discussion pending
That requires
litigation.
that I be there.
And I'll make a motion.
Well,
So,
see,
you
that's
know, I
part of
can't
the
go to
problem.
meetings.
We've got a motion and a second to move to executive session at this point, and we'll be voting on anything
No, sir,
coming back.
should not be.
That'll conclude our business tonight. We will
You
have,
got water?
Yeah, I ain't used to.
Amanda's got water. We're gonna go in the
okay,
shower.
we're voting to go into executive session.
I'm bringing down those lunch.
Sure, I'm gonna tell you.
Now, I ain't washed no clothes.
Local community. From a small dent to major collision repair, Hamilton Paint and Body is here for you. Owners Brett and Kim Gewen would like to say thank you for your business.
Northwest Alabama Heating and Cooling, blowing away our competition.
Hello, I'm Richard Kitchens, owner of Sports Gallery here on the Court Square in Hamilton. I'd like to thank all of our customers and thank you for watching the Hamilton City Council meeting.
Hi, my name is Randy Whitehead, President and CEO of People's Trust Bank. I invite you to view the live streaming of Hamilton City Council meetings every first and third Monday at 6 o'clock p.m.
Your perfect stay at the Holiday Inn in Guin off of I-22. Enjoy our amazing on-site restaurant and bar with a lunch buffet every Sunday. Relax with a quick getaway with your family and make a splash in our outdoor pool. Book your next event with us. Call us at 205-468-4625.
I'm Rick Chambliss with Marion County Funeral Home and Spry Memorial Chapel in Russellville, Alabama. This is Glenda Cochran, our manager out here. Under the laws of Alabama that was passed in 2002, a funeral establishment has to be certified with the state and carry a certificate of authority before they can even talk to anyone when the time comes is guaranteed to be there.
Since 1987, Smith Furniture has been in business to serve the community with high-quality furniture at the best price. Some of our name brands are Homestretch, Ashley, Lazy Boy, Catnapper, Lane, Bar Bassett, GE, Frigidaire, Whirlpool, and Maytag. We offer finance in 12 months, same as cash. So stop by Fulton, Mississippi and see Jim, Shannon, and Joe at Smith's Furniture, or call us at 662-862-7412.
Tom Bigby Electric Cooperative was formed for the need for electricity to the local citizens that were living in the rural areas of Marion, Lamar, and portions of Fayette counties. This line consisted of 12 miles and 22 consumers on the road from Guin to Sulligent. Between then and now, there has been a lot of hard work and dedication from a great number of people to make this cooperative what it is today. Tom Bigby Electric Corporation would like to thank each member. You can contact us today at 205-921-6712.
Your story starts at Bevel State Community College. Whether you are just starting out or starting over, Bevel State has an opportunity that is right for you. With 5 locations serving 7 counties. You don't have to go far to start your own success story. Plus, with tuition lower than 4-year colleges, you won't need to spend more for a great education. Visit us online at bscc.edu to learn about your options for seamless academic transfer and high-demand career tech and health science offerings. Let us help you tell your story.